can't, the measuring.
It's such
like
yeah, you have to have it exact.
No, I
Oh,
don't know, put a cream cheese in there. And it always turns out really good.
That's a good baker.
No.
That's a good baker when you don't have to measure.
I do know why.
Really
I just
is.
don't pay attention.
I
But,
do. I'm not a baker. I can bake.
right, I'm
Do
like
I like
so,
doing it
like,
anymore?
I'm so busy
No.
all the time that when I get to like relax,
When the kids were little,
I don't want to be.
I'd bake. Now,
Yeah.
negative.
Hey, I feel like I've seen you before. Have you
I've
been
been in here many
Okay,
times.
I was gonna say, you don't look unfamiliar.
I found a new
Can I get you some Monday?
I'm good.
A Splenda?
Beautiful free everything from it, and I did the pizza and made
I brought neighbors and family.
Thank you so much.
it's online. And
This is
then I
this is a very
texted her and said,
nice presentation.
PDF.
Sometimes they're about like
because I'm not allowed.
decorating presentations. She can keep coming.
Yeah, next. So you
Next
can
month will
just
be-
do questions. It's Cheryl. You'll have to get on some.
I don't remember. I just know what I'm
Look at
doing
what she
tomorrow.
does.
I would think actually it won't be. So Christmas and how to decorate a Christmas tree was last month.
Yeah.
So next month is gonna be.
Oh, we missed
believe,
that.
I did.
It is either choosing different oil paintings and artwork, or it is how to decorate above those weird like kitchen cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember specifically. One of those is next month. One of those is January.
Oh, okay.
By the time November 30th comes around,
Yes.
we won't have much Christmas left to even show you. So,
And you
we
should have a
do-
large portion of your stuff, kind of.
Yeah. We do Christmas. Any Christmas Mondays and Mimosas happens September, sometimes October, but generally September.
I used last month.
You can
always
always watch it on Facebook. We always have the videos
It's not the
up.
same.
It's not the same, but if you're not in town, also, you know, you can always come in and ask us questions here in the store. Okay, are there still people here?
Steffi's.
I still hear people.
I watched Linda because the camera was right on.
Yeah, and it jumped. Yeah.
Is anyone here because they're actually like in the middle of a project? You're all just here to hear me talk?
We're all just here
I
to
love
hear
it.
you.
Here to hear me.
But my
Share your
daughter-in-law
knowledge.
is thinking about painting their bedroom,
Perfect.
and so.
Well, you can pass on your knowledge.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Who in here has painted their houses gray? Okay, you're gonna hate me. We're gonna talk about it.
That's all right.
Perfect. It's okay.
No,
We
thank
still
you.
like gray. We
No,
just
not doing it again.
we're talking about working with it.
I have gray.
I have.
And honestly, I don't dislike gray.
I
I don't dislike gray. My dining chairs actually came from here forever ago, and they're like the most beautiful gray, upholstered, like, what the heck do you call it? You know, when you do presentations and like I normally know the word and my brain's just like,
Go drink some alcohol.
right. I tried the grapefruit mimosa, which is probably why my brain's not thinking about it. Like a slipcover, beautiful arm. So I like gray. I like gray fine, but moderation, and it's got to be the warm gray.
There is no one else trickling in.
Perfect. Small crowd. Okay. So you guys know I'm Ray, Jeannie Hood's granddaughter. I've been here, I say forever, which is funny because I'm young, but genuinely forever. Learned from the best. I don't know if I've ever like said this in a presentation, but I went to school for actually fashion design, not interior design. But I got like the color theory and the textiles education, so it really is so transferable to interiors. And once I tried my hand at the fashion design world, I said, not for me. Houses are so much more fun, and it's way more fun to see a project A to Z, and it's way more rewarding to work with other people on their projects, whereas fashion is like, you just send it out to the masses and you don't really ever get feedback. So yeah, with that being said, we'll get started. Does anyone have any like questions, topics they are interested in before we get started that I can kind of add to the presentation? Yeah.
I'm interested in what colors are popular,
Trending?
are on trend. I guess you're gonna cover that.
We're gonna go over that. We have 3 different paint companies that we're gonna go over their like color of the year. Every paint company comes out, I think Sherwin-Williams started it, but like color of the year. And in the design world, it's really exciting. It's kind of like nerdy. Some people are like Star Wars fans or whatever, sports fans. We literally like at midnight look at the color of the year, which is crazy, but it's so fun. So I have a couple presentations together that will show you that have the colors of the year, and I'll tell you if we like it, if it's gonna stick around. Again, the hard part with color of the years is sometimes amazing, timeless, beautiful. Sometimes you're like, whoa, that is a statement. And I'm gonna talk about like why we should be careful, because like you said, you're not painting again for a while. Painting, it's easy, it's fine. It's expensive if you're not doing it yourself. If you're doing it yourself, it is annoying. I hate painting.
I love to paint.
You love painting?
I do.
Hot take.
But I'm done.
It is awful. And again, it's like with baking, like the corners and stuff, I'm good at it, but I don't want to do it. So funny. We'll go over trends. I'm going to start with the most common question and the most, the thing that people get wrong the most, and it's so easy to do. So if you've gotten it wrong in the past, don't feel bad. This is why I tell you, and I will tell you, when you're painting, I've told Denise, because we picked out paint colors for her house, paint like a big, probably 5x5 square foot patch on a north wall, northeast, southwest, east wall, south wall, west wall, high, low, above your mantle, like paint patches in multiple places, because paint colors are going to, 1, change with the light. On a misty day, it's going to look way different than on a sunny day. It's going to look way different at 6 a.m. than it will at 6 p.m. When you get that like golden hour, 5 o'clock, it's going to warm up. In the morning when it's dawn and you get all your blue tones coming in through the windows, it's going to look way different. So I tell everyone, we're going to paint some patches. And even like the tone that is casting off of your floors or your ceilings or your cabinets or your furniture, light reflects. So light is going to come down, and like on this ugly metal gray table, it's a cool tone. So even if I painted the wall a warm white, the light that's casting down on this table might reflect on that wall and give it a whole different tone and feeling. Does that make sense? So, we did not discover, Lauren and Stacy discovered, because they helped me endlessly get these presentations together, these patches, which I'm going to go over, but they're like clear stickers that you can paint your paint swatches on, because sometimes when you do paint those patches, if you don't get enough top coats on, you can, or you're not careful when you're doing the patches, you can see the outline if you slap it on too thick. Does that make sense? So these are really cool. How much are they?
Not a lot. I think
They
it was
were
like maybe $3 or $4. You get 3 of them. They're pretty big. As you can see, I painted the blue and the gray sticking on. So helpful. Super easy.
Fantastic. Okay. Did want to tell you guys about that. But so we're gonna go over some tones, and I've kind of pulled some for you, and I'm gonna walk around and tell you guys, because these are really small, I know. But I'm gonna come around here. I just feel them so far away. Okay. So I know this sounds so crazy, but also a color on a little swatch looks worlds different than it will on your wall. It is going to lighten up 10 times when you get it on your big wall. So, you might not believe me, but these 3 colors are all white. Isn't that crazy? Like, they're all technically whites. When you get them on your wall, if someone walked in not really paying attention, they would think the house is white. Okay. Obviously, super warm. Okay. Super cool. Like museum, modern contemporary girl, cool. Yeah. Neutral. Does that make sense? And this is why I say live with your color for like at least 48 hours. But if it's summer and we're in a sunny season, wait until we have a rainstorm, wait until we see some, you know what I mean? Wait until we see a change in the weather and the light and the cast and the, you know what I mean? I'm gonna come around just to, again, emphasize, these are all white. I'm doing air quotes, white. It's crazy. It's insane. I'm gonna do the same thing for you guys with these greens. Cool or warm?
Cool.
Cool or warm?
Warm.
Okay. Pretty neutral. Still a little cool, but so again, these are all green. They're all pretty similar. This one's like a shade darker. Pretty similar. Cool, warm, pretty neutral. And again, if you have blue furniture, the light's gonna cast a little bit of a different tone on your walls. If you have like a maple floor and maple cabinets and maple everything, it's gonna cast a little bit warmer. Does that make sense?
Those greens are considered this year's color of the year from all 3 of the paint companies.
Yeah.
You're gonna see how very different
In
2023 is gonna
2022,
look.
this was Sherwin-Williams Evergreen Fog. In 2022, this is PPG's Olive Sprig. Crazy. And then this was Benjamin Moore's October Mist at the bottom. So everyone was really on the same page last year, which is crazy. Sorry, getting my mind right. And then we're gonna go over to, we set this nice little light box up, a little bit homemade DIY. Sorry, we were trying to get a
Science fair project.
Science fair project.
A little bit.
But again, I'm gonna show you how different this is called blank canvas, pretty neutral. Has a tiny bit of a warm undertone, but not really, it's pretty neutral. So obviously this is our warm white, and you're gonna see, do you see how warm this reflects? And then it's entirely different. So when I say, wait, don't, people get in such a hurry and then they paint their entire house and spend 10 grand on painting their entire house, and then they're like,
It doesn't look like
rolling
how
their
I thought
eyes.
it would.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you too with this green. That warms it up. Very cool. Very blue. Very evergreeny. Isn't that crazy? Color is so fun.
She mentioned blank canvas is technically Bear's color of 2023. Yeah. So they're thinking the color of the year for 2023 is going to be white.
White. Okay. That's funny. We didn't put a board together based off of this because you could truly do anything. Does anyone have any questions from what we've talked about? Has anyone like made the mistake of painting the wrong tone, or like not waiting a ton, or not painting patches?
Yeah. That one might do it.
It's awful, and it feels just so like.
You're tattling.
I said.
I had a house painted, 3 sides of it. It came home, wrong color. I dragged her down to the house. We had to paint her. Go out and get another thing of paint and repaint.
Yeah.
Oh.
What
And
was it supposed to be? It had too much brown in it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's one, don't feel bad. because it happens to a lot of people. Apparently we've got some really smart girls in this room. But it does happen to a lot of people. I have so many people come in and they're like, my furniture does not match my paint and I am not painting. So we get it a lot.
It's like somebody told you I was coming, because that's me right there.
Amazing, amazing. That's what we're here
I have
for.
a problem right now.
Yeah, it's like, and it does. It like totally like throws off people think I'm crazy, but like the feng shui, the vibe, it throws off everything in the house when you feel like I've got some like warm traditional furniture and I accidentally painted my house like too cool of a tone. And a lot of people who have painted gray, like pick a gray that like, it might be pretty, but they picked a cool gray and then they have really traditional furniture. So we need to either repaint a gray that has a little bit of a warmer, like a neutral undertone, or we need to start getting more neutral furniture or working in some fabrics here and there, which obviously no one's redoing an entire room like at the drop of a hat. Some people do, but
I try.
yeah, some people do, but we're not expecting you to. But we need to take those steps to kind of like match the room. Otherwise, you're just gonna walk into your room and feel like a little off. Yeah. Okay. If we saw some light through this would probably be better. But if you say this was black and this was like white, and then these were a little bit lighter, we're just showing like how you will use this, because these two are the patches that we told you about, the clear patches that you paint. So like I said, if you're painting like a white and your room was turquoise or something, it's gonna change the color, because the turquoise, unless you do like 5 coats of paint, which is exhausting and expensive, it's gonna show through a little bit, so we need to kind of mitigate that. And there are ways to do it, and there's a lot of primers, but that's it. That's just something to think about, is the paint underneath matters a lot.
Apparently I chose really good paint that only needed one
Really
coat for
good
these.
paint.
Usually you can see through on
Yeah.
the first layer of whatever's under it, which is why these are great when they're clear. You can see if you need to have a primer or anything, and it actually on these has the levels of primer you might need. So it's really helpful. Really recommend doing the clear ones first.
Where do you get those in?
I got it at Flanagan Paint. Home Depot actually
That
didn't have
paint
them.
store.
Ace Hardware had them. Don't know why Home Depot didn't.
And what are they called?
Sure Swatch.
Sure spots. Okay.
Yep,
Paintable
super
clear
easy.
film. I need glasses, please. Okay. I made myself a little outline since we're talking about so many things, right? Okay. I also just want to hit on sheen of the paint. We're talking like flat, eggshell, satin, gloss. People are doing gloss. It's a little wild. It could be fun. Very minimal light. Okay, we're not even gonna go over it.
Sorry.
Like, such a good ringtone.
People are doing gloss on their walls.
I would say some traditional or transitional to contemporary people might be doing gloss. Not really on a wall. I would say like cabinets,
And accent
stuff like that.
yeah.
Maybe like a little accent wall behind like a mirror in a powder room or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Not whole entire walls. So we're not even gonna touch on it, even though I just touched on it. But sheen has to do with well, not has to do with, but you have to choose a sheen off of who's using the room. Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Do you have pets? Is it a bathroom where it's going to get moist a lot? So many different factors. So normally people pick like an eggshell, just because it has a little more give, not a ton of give. I would say like a kid's room where they're going to be like getting their grubby little hands all over the walls and leaving scuffs and sticky residue and all of that stuff. You'd maybe want to do a satin. You can clean it off a little bit more, so it has that give. And you can just wipe it off. Maybe not Sharpie or something, but you know, grubby little fingers. And then flat looks the richest in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, but you can't clean it. If you try to clean it, it's just gonna get a little ratty looking, and it's not good. So most people, like I said, are gonna pick an eggshell to a satin, somewhere around there. In a bathroom, you want something with a little more shine. Again, the flat, when it gets moist, it just deteriorates a little, looks dingy. It sucks in the dust and just gets a little wild. That's when you see, like, you know, a really old house when you take a picture off the wall and it's got like a ring around it. Because the dust is like settled on the wall and made it look a little.
So eggshell is like a flat, but you can scrub it a little bit.
It's like a step between, between satin and flat is like an eggshell, and it's gonna still look pretty matte. You're not really gonna see a shine on it, but it is gonna have a little bit of that like slicky shine. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Has anyone made that mistake? Such an Okay.
I always stayed away from eggshell because I wasn't really sure what it did.
Oh.
You know,
It really usually, and every company kind of does their sheens differently, so you kind of have to ask. But for the most part, it's going to be like flat, eggshell, satin, gloss
Right.
are the main ones that people call it. Some places have a couple different crazy names for them, but just ask. Eggshell is between flat and satin, so it's just a little bit.
Got it.
A little bit richer than satin, a little bit more durable than flat. Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna go into color palettes, mixing these colors. We're going based off of the colors of the year, and then just some swatches that I found around that I really like that I wanted to show off. And we're gonna talk about like mixing patterns and colors and how they work together. And another thing I get a lot is I'm scared of using too many patterns. I'm scared of mixing colors. I'm scared. I'm overthinking. And what we get is people then want to like fix or remedy the situation with a lot of like decor and accessories. You can't rely just on the decor and the accessories to make your home feel like really lived in and really loved and really warm and interesting. Does that make sense? So we're going to talk about not being scared and like using color and patterns to your advantage. And I know I said this was about paint, but I lied.
It still kind of is.
Kind of. So this is Benjamin Moore's Raspberry Blush. Their 2023 color of the year.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. Really cool, I think, in like a powder room. I don't know if I would ever paint like an entire great room or something this color, unless someone really was into it.
Or if you're gonna get it painted the next year.
I also don't love, this is personal opinion, if you have an accent wall, I'm sorry. I don't love an accent wall. I don't know why. Unless it's like a, not even a shiplap, but like a, you know what I mean? If it's like a texture,
wall.
like a stone wall, that's totally cool. But like a colored accent wall, I think it's like a couple years ago, the trend has passed a little bit. I have talked to clients about, like when people have a really open concept, kind of like where to transition that color into a different color is a whole different story, and that's something that you again have to play with. It's like it's a tricky thing to make it all flow still. I shouldn't say a really open concept, like a mid-open concept. I've been running into those a lot lately. I don't know. But anyway, Raspberry Blush, wonky color in my opinion. I don't know, but we're working with it. We're gonna try to tone it down a little bit. We're gonna try to keep it super jewel tone. So we pulled this fabric, which I think is very pretty. Tones are down, don't you think? With this rug, gorgeous, beautiful rug. We do rugs, so everyone knows. A lot of people don't know that. I can get thousands and thousands and thousands of different kind of rugs. This is like a hand knotted wool rug. Gorgeous, beautiful, will last you forever if you have a rug pad and you take really good care of it. But really gorgeous. So we wanted to play off of again, we're playing with color here. So we pulled this guy. This guy's got some navies in it, some blues. We like blue. We pulled this rug. It's also got some blues. It's also got some yellows. It's also got a really pretty neutral, like taupey color. Would play really well with this fabric. I'm trying to... I only have 2 hands.
Why?
I know.
You got 2 extra, right?
Would be really gorgeous with like a navy. You can do a sofa in this like navy velvet. This is full velvet. This is like really washable and beautiful and durable. But again, chairs, sofa, an ottoman. Leopard print is a neutral in my head. So if you ever work with me, I will probably get a leopard print out and say, use it! Because I love leopard and it's really cool. And it goes with everything. And it can go rustic, traditional, transitional, modern, a little girl's room, your bedroom, your glam closet. I don't care. We can use it. A kitchen chair. It's gorgeous. So, palette number 1. Questions, comments, concerns?
I think it's beautiful.
Hate it?
Yeah.
Crazy?
I like the navy and the raspberry together.
Is that pretty?
Pretty. Even that picks up the navy off the.
So like I said, and maybe you have like an antique piece of furniture and you want to paint it this color instead of a wall. Paint doesn't just have to be for your walls. Make sure you get a really good person to paint your furniture though. I love that. I've seen some pretty bad furniture paintings. Okay. Okay. Again. Here. I'm gonna switch these. Okay. So again, we're going with raspberry blush just because I thought it was such a wonky color. I wanted to give you guys options. Okay. I wanted to go more of like a pink and green route here. I love pink and green. I'm like crazy about pink and green. I love it. I think it's very timeless. It's like the trends come around and then it's like never gone away. But it keeps coming back. It's great. So when they send us the color of the year, they also send us a bunch of suggestions of what it could go with. So that's what this top is looking at. Just to show you guys. Obviously, you're not going to use all of those in the same room. This is just for your eyeballs to see that like colors can go together and can look really, really pretty and fun. We could pull tones from any of these swatches in our fabric, our rugs, our drapes, our furniture, pillows, coffee table, side table, you know what I mean? So I picked this beautiful pink florally. It's got some green. It's got this kind of turquoise hint. I personally am opposed to the color turquoise. I don't know what it is. It's pretty in some people's houses. I don't know why. I don't love it. But little hints of it we can work with. It's really pretty. So then I just picked kind of a more muted, same color family, more muted, because this for some people is a little crazy and we might want to tone it down a little bit. But this velvet, again, like an ottoman, a chair, would look fantastic. A sofa paired with this as an ottoman or a chair. We can play around with them. This leather pulls out this really pretty like chocolate color that's here. And then this like lighter color kind of like mixes it in with the other fabrics I've chosen. And then these 3, green and a little bit of turquoise, are again options for pillows, for an ottoman, a little footstool, something like that. If you have an open concept, we could put one of these on like your dining room chairs if they're upholstered. Does that make sense? Questions, comments?
I love that raspberry color, and there's a house in Kirkwood, a great big
Yeah.
old 2-story,
Yeah.
3-story actually, that's on their front door.
Really?
What's on the front door?
That
That
color,
raspberry.
that
Oh,
raspberry
oh.
color.
People love a color
I've
front
said
door.
the colored doors has been a very
Oh.
popular
It's like a trend.
trend. I'm gonna hold that.
And they have black shutters.
Yeah.
And it just all works.
For the Facebook people, So sorry. We're catering to a lot of different audiences. I'm getting stabbed by these pins. I know. Get over it. I've been, my poor little hands and arms, all of ours, from like fluffing the Christmas trees. I'm like, ah. Okay. Who the heck is it? Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams color of the year, I love. Okay, it's called Redden. I don't know how you say it. Point. Red end point. It's like this really pretty dusty color. It's a little more muted. It's pretty neutral. You would think it's like a warm tone. It is, but it can go with a little bit more cooler accents and furniture. Again, they always give us colors that it can play well with. A little warmer, a little cooler, a little warmer, a little cooler. Yeah. We thought this rug went really well, and again, I pulled a lot of different options for this because I just visited Vanguard Furniture at Market, and they had all these samples, and I was like a kid in a candy shop being so crazy. They were like, please limit yourself to 5 samples. I can't do it. If my rep's listening to this on the Facebook, I'm like, anyway, this rug, kind of fun, kind of cool. Very specific person that's gonna take it. I just wanted to show you guys that we have so many options on rugs. So many styles, so many different things. We're not stuck on traditional, we're not stuck on rustic. A lot of people come into the store and they think that's all we do. We have a lot of customers that do a lot of different styles, so more than happy to work with that. And then I just wanted to kind of show you guys some pairings that would go well together. We're doing like a cool beigey leather with this really pretty like foamy seafoam linen. Almost a neutral chocolate leather with this really pretty, not leopard print, but almost leopard print. It's really cool. Like a black with a camel. This black definitely has like a warmer undertone. And then this like green with this boucle green and yellow fabric that would be fantastic on chairs or an ottoman or pillows. I would die to see someone use it. So again, just wanted to show you guys a ton of options and that colors can play really well together. Again, all of these I would be so happy using with this rug, using with any of these colors that I've shown you. So we've got options, girls. Oh, I lost a rug.
Pins don't tend to stay. It's all right.
Facebook doesn't get to see. Okay, this board looks a little wild. I apologize. It's gonna take some imagination. But again, wanted to show you that we've got options and colors are fun and usable. Was this the color of the year? Is this the red
blue one at the top?
blue. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is PPG's Vining Ivy. Doesn't look like ivy to me at all. Whatever. The marketing people got a little crazy with the name, but it's fine. Cool. So like I said, I don't personally love turquoise, but we're doing it. We're playing with it. PPG said it's a color of the year, so trust the experts, I guess. But so we picked a really pretty turquoise, like chevron, herringbone play. I love a floral. If you ever work with me, I'm gonna say we need something that's what I call organic. Again, I talk about design principles, and that's, some people are like, shut up about the design principles. I'm always gonna say you need a floral. If you want to do neutral colors, that's fine, but you need like an organic pattern. It just, again, adds warmth, looks really fun, looks lived in. It just adds texture and interest to your room, to your furniture. So I picked this fabric, this floral. It has a ton of different colors that play really well with all of the colors that PPG paired with their color of the year, Vining Ivy. And again, we can always go neutral. I love doing a darker room. I'm either like paint the room white and then play with furniture, or let's really go all in and do color. I love, if you're gonna do a neutral, I love like a darker taupe color. It looks fun and warm and inviting and cozy. I love like a bedroom really dark. It feels like a little cave, really snuggly. Kind of like spa vibes. But anyway, like I said, chairs would be really fun in this. Pillows, you could do a leather sofa with this leather. Really into a Chesterfield sofa right now. I just think they're really classic and timeless. This rug is almost a neutral, but it has like the blues and the greens that play really well with this color. And I just wanted to show you guys that these are some pretty bold statement colors, but they play really, really well with this rug, really, really well with this fabric.
Bless you.
Bless your soul. Does anyone have any questions on that?
If you have a really, really small room, the dark colors to me just seem like it would be just too,
Gorgeous.
yeah.
I disagree. Just because I love a cozy space, and I think people, always want to make their room feel bigger and like cavernous, but sometimes that makes your room feel more cold and like a museum where people feel like they can't sit down. Whereas if you have a really cozy, inviting, warm, fun, vibrant space, people want to come in, they want to sit down, they want to have coffee with you, they want to, you know what I mean, kick their feet up. So again, like I said with the sheens, I guess it depends on what kind of life you're wanting to live, how many people you have over, if you want them to stay, maybe if you want them to get out, you can put it all white and have white furniture. I don't know, but yeah, I think I've seen a lot and had a lot of clients painting like their powder rooms black, really dark green, and that's a small space.
Yeah.
It packs a punch. It is really cool. It makes a statement. So I think, again, don't overthink. If you like color, if you like dark colors, I don't live in a big house. I'm 27 years old. I've never lived in a big house. My bedroom at my last place I lived, I painted dark green. It was a Sherwin-Williams, I think it was literally called dark forest green. Gorgeous. I have a white like velvet headboard, king bed, like a red and green regular colored oriental rug, some like pine side tables with a gold lamp, always a ton of books, very Ralph Lauren, very, you know what I mean? It's not, don't be afraid to go dark. I love painting rooms dark.
What is your idea of painting the ceilings as well, the same color?
I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It's definitely a statement.
My father-in-law did it 50 years ago.
You have to live with it. It's definitely a statement. Some people aren't comfortable with it. I like it. We had a girl who used to work here, and she, at her house before this one, she lived down in Soulard, so she had like it was just like a really cool historic home, and she painted her entire living room, like great room, black. And painted the ceiling too, and it looks really, really cool, really
Black?
nice.
With the accent.
Really cool.
I have a question on your pattern material.
Yeah.
Depending upon what you're putting that pattern on, is there a scale for, if it's a small chair, do I want a big pattern like that? Is it the size of the pattern to the piece of furniture?
Kind of, yes. Yes and no. So on like a sofa, I don't love doing like a bigger pattern like this. I would rather have my sofa be like this herringbone, a smaller pattern. And again, I'm gonna say it's a design principle. I don't know how to explain it. It's easier on your eyeball. to absorb a sofa in a smaller pattern, and then have your accent chairs or your chairs, whatever, be that bigger
Okay.
floral, or like your ottoman be that bigger floral, or obviously your pillows can be whatever you want them to be, but does that make sense?
Yes,
I don't know if that answered your question.
you did.
Okay. Again,
'Cause
it's
that's my
eyeball.
concept also, is to have a smaller on a larger piece, and then bring in the accents
Yeah.
on the bigger ones.
I have seen some crazy sofas in my day, and I always like, they can be pretty, but it's just like a lot, you know what I mean? So I always do my bigger patterns on like a chair, and then my herringbone or solid or leather on the sofa, and then we can be more playful with an ottoman, pillows,
I did live
drapes.
through the 60s and 70s with some of the
I'm obsessed actually with 70s, 60s. If someone came in and said, I want to do a total, I'm an avid, I digest a lot of content on interior design, and a lot of people are doing the 70s, like retro, cigar room, crazy, and I love it, but it has to be the right clientele. You have to be really into it. So yeah,
Just don't do avocado shag. Oh my God.
I might do it, honestly.
The avocado.
Harvest gold, harvest gold.
I don't think I have.
The harvest gold I can't get into. So I'm gonna go over 3 common questions I get, and then we're gonna wrap up with questions, and then we'll get you out of here and get shopping. But I get a lot of questions on what are some timeless colors. Like, I don't want to do white, but I don't want to have to repaint in 5 years. Always like a red, a neutral red, gorgeous, pretty. Would never be mad about you wanting to paint a room red. Green, would never be mad about you wanting to paint a room green. I love green, a sage green, and like, I don't care what green. Green never goes out of style. Green can go in any color palette. So yeah. Sometimes blue. I'm gonna say sometimes blue. Sometimes. Jeannie would come down and beat me if I said this, but hot take, controversial opinion. I like a powder blue. People that have like the kind of Maine coastal aesthetic, really, really, if you do it right, like a good powder blue, a light blue, is really, really pretty and can last you a long time. And then of course, taupe, white, beige, we can all play with. Not as fun, but they're timeless. And then people are always like, which white do I paint my house? Again, I can't give you one, because everyone's house is different, everyone's furniture is different, everyone's flooring is different, ceiling is different. So it's you gotta play around with it. But I'm more than happy to help. Oh, and then I get a lot of people that are like, if we go with a colorful wall, I've got to do all neutral furniture because it's too much. Like I showed you guys in these boards, this presentation, absolutely not. I love neutral furniture. It definitely has a place, but like, we definitely don't have to go with neutral. We don't have to like tone it down. We can play. Those are my 3 most common questions that I get. Does anyone have any questions?
So you would not say gray was a timeless color? You
I
think that
wouldn't.
was a trend?
That was a huge trend. Do I think so? I mean, 75% of St. Louis painted their house gray 5 years after New York and LA did. People in New York and LA don't have gray houses anymore. They've all moved on to colors. If we would have just stuck with our colors, we would be so out of the trend. So again, I understand a lot of people have painted their houses gray. We're working with it. We are incorporating pieces and fabrics and rugs to kind of warm everything up. Make sure it doesn't feel sterile. And we'll get there. I don't think it's timeless though, which again, it's your house. You can do
I
whatever
love my
you
gray
want.
bedroom.
Perfect. I love it. When people love their gray, perfect, we'll work with it. We totally will work with it. Do I think it's timeless? No. Do I paint my nursery? No. I knew it was a trend and I knew we were 5 years behind. So anytime you see the coasts doing things, we're already behind. And social media and TV has kind of helped with that, but not really.
For as long as St. Louis has been around, they've always been behind.
Has-
Midwest has always been behind the coast in anything fashion, furniture, interior, anything, just because
And-
it takes so long to get to us.
Fashion is a little bit different. Fashion, we're usually like a year to 2 years behind the trend. Interiors takes a lot more. Obviously, it's way easier to go buy a shirt than to go buy a sofa. So interiors have always been 5 to 7 years behind the curve, whereas fashion in the Midwest, we're kind of 1 to 2 years behind the curve. So yeah, keep it in mind. If you see things happening on the coast, if you see things on HGTV, if you see your friends all painting their houses gray, we're behind a little, you know?
Well, you have to do what you're comfortable
And-
with
yeah.
and what you like.
Exactly. If you love the gray, like I said, I will tell anybody, it's your house. I'll sell you whatever you want, honestly. But I will give you my opinion, and if I see something that's like truly wrong as far as like the design
You wouldn't
principles,
wanna
the
come in my
concepts, I will let you know.
Oh,
Don't feel, I
And
have
you
a
guys
gray
know I
room,
will.
I've
so
never
I
had
get
her over.
the gray.
I know.
I've only been here 35 years.
Oh my
And
goodness. Love it.
supposedly the favorite aunt.
Oh,
My favorite auntie.
Her house is
I
beautiful.
love your guys' relationship. Any questions, comments, concerns?
So I have tall ceilings, slanted, and my walls are all white. But you were talking about somebody in Searoy painted the whole thing black. So that's okay to have color or something.
It's
other than-
again, it's a statement.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that.
If you want to, we will help you pick a color.
Okay.
But it's a statement, and you've got to live with it. And it's really hard to get ceiling white on top of.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, you can do it.
You can totally do it. So we've got a bathroom that's like a,
I'm sorry.
we've got a bathroom that we have small, super small powder room. It's kind of a darker purple. We painted our ceilings like silver. It is a statement. It lightens it up, but it's been that way for like 5 years now. We're not going to change it.
I have
We're
a
stuck with
client
it.
who has a really, really gorgeous black, like the Gucci Lion wallpaper, and they're considering painting the ceiling gold. She was like, "How do you think that'll look?" I would love it. So,
I have another question.
Yeah.
So I have these white walls, and then my furniture is really dark. Is that okay, or should I try to paint the walls to?
you can contrast. I'm totally fine with the contrast.
Okay.
I'd have to see photos to like really say, but I'm totally fine with the contrast, and that's when like. Again, in a near future, Mondays and Mimosas, we're going to talk about art and choosing art. People, again, don't utilize art, or they, like, just get, like, a cheap print from wherever, and, like, you know what I mean, just because it's cheap and it's whatever, and they like it fine. I'm not kidding. Art will change your entire room, so that's where I love, normally my like main areas, my living room, dining room are white-ish, but I have so much art that I've collected over the past like 10, 12 years that I love and I'm obsessed with, and it's just me, and it just warms the room up, and it adds so much. So like my walls are white. Can you see a ton of white walls? Not really. Like that's not what your eye's looking at. So again, using art and using like the furniture, the rugs, the draperies to your advantage are really going to help with that, because I love a white room. I like a white room. I'm totally fine with white. But yeah, using bigger pieces, and not just, I see a ton where people are like, well, I have red in my room, but they have like 2 red candlesticks, and I'm like, that's not really like warming the room up, you know what I mean? So like, yeah.
Speaking of white, what's your ideas on white kitchens?
It was a trend.
My kitchen's white
White kitchens are a trend.
You don't see it now.
If you have a white kitchen, again, I'm fine with it. I like a white kitchen. I think it's pretty, it's bright. It's whatever you want. We can work with it. Is it super interesting? Not really. Have I seen them done really, really well? Yes. Can you like accent it with some really pretty like hardware and lighting and gorgeous granite and backsplashes and decor and like a really cool furniture? Yeah. But again, it was a trend. I've seen a couple white kitchens recently that they've painted their center or sanded down their center island and stained it like a wood, which really warms it up. And again, that's like an easier thing than replacing your entire white kitchen that you just spent 80 grand doing. So yeah, but again, it's a trend.
You talking about white cabinets or what?
I've seen some that it's almost a hospital look.
Yeah. That's-
Everything's
that's-
For a
sterile.
while,
Yeah.
it was really white.
And that's my
Sterile
opinion.
room.
And anytime I work with you, I'm gonna try really, really hard to avoid the sterile. I tell people, and I've been to clients' houses, and I'm like, this feels like a museum. And if you're into that, cool. Do I want to like sit down and have a drink or a coffee with you? Not really in this house. Like you can come to mine, but you can come.
Mine's lived in.
You can come to the Three French Hens and have a mimosa here.
2 years
but
ago,
yeah.
I had the hair to get all of our kitchen cabinets painted, which was,
What color did you go with?
I didn't. Because I
What'd you
kept
do?
thinking,
What? Oh, you didn't do it.
no,
Okay.
Because
What are they?
they're,
Like a, oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
is that same as
They're-
mine?
They're beautiful oak, they're not that cheap oak
Not ugly.
no,
that you
they're,
see.
Yep.
they're
Not
solid.
Like
ugly.
in my house.
They're pretty oak.
My house has got the cheap oak
I
cabinets,
moved into a house that had oak cabinets, and I was like, oh.
but hers is gorgeous.
Yeah.
What about
Thank you.
painting, like I see so many homes now where the lower cabinets are a darker color.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
that's-
white,
Obsessed.
and then you
I
break
love
it
it.
up.
Again,
I'm seeing
anything to add interest, texture. Like if someone doesn't walk into my home or like a home that I've worked on and say, wow, then like I'm disappointed. You know what I mean? Like if someone just walks in and
Yeah.
is like, this
You
is
want
pretty.
that wow
Like,
factor.
this is pretty. Yeah, it's really pretty. Oh, her house is pretty. Her house is nice. Like, I want someone to be like, oh my god, did you see her blue cabinets? Did you see her green? Did you see her powder room? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want anyone to be like, it's like calling someone nice. She's nice. Like, I don't think anyone's ever called me nice, but, but yeah, you want, and again, if you want that, do it. But I don't ever want anyone to call me nice. I want like vibrant, vivacious, sunny, something. You know what I mean? Fun, outspoken, outgoing. I don't care. You can call me bitch. I don't really care. But nice, I'm like, oh god, like what did I do wrong here?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same way I feel about my house. I just want it to be fun.
My house is lived in.
Yeah.
You can go from the front door and jump on the couch.
Here's the deal. I
Grab that pillow and
always
blanket.
I call my style, which I think obsessing over your style is kind of like weird and outgrown, and it's kind of like trends. It's like if you're stuck in this like rustic or traditional or transitional style, like it's gonna look like you went and bought, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work. I call my style like estate sale granny, but like new, because I'm not kidding. When I have a day off, which is not super usual, but when I do, I'm like on estatesales.net looking at estate sales, and like I love antiques and I love things that just look like fun and weird and different, and like I never want to go to Home Goods and pick out a candlestick that everyone has, which is why you'll never, well, I shouldn't say never, because some people do like basics, and there is a place for basics, but you will rarely hear things coming through the door that are like the same as we've had forever, or like what you would see at Home Goods. Like I really try really hard to make sure everyone's house is going to look unique, and even our basics, like we try to dress them up different ways for different people, and yeah. So any more questions? Well, and for a thank you of listening to me talk for an hour, you guys get 10% off the store. So you have until noon to shop. You can get 10% off your purchase. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I wanted to make one last comment. We started in saying that last year's colors of the years were all the same and how this year's is different. One thing we noticed while putting everything together is, yes, the main one is different, but you'll see that they use a lot of the same colors. So apparently they agree that at least the palette is similar.
The palette's similar.
All wanted to be colorful, which is out there.
We'll leave these here in case you guys want to see.
What brand is this raspberry?
This is Benjamin Moore.
Okay.
Yep. So that one was Benjamin Moore. The Binding Ivy was PPG. Blank Canvas was Bear. Who else did we have? Sherwin-Williams. That one was.
No, was it the blank canvas?
No. I've stared at so many paint samples the past month, I can't even remember.
Sherwin-Williams.
Oh wait, no, that was the Raspberry Blush.
Oh, here it is.
Oh no, there it is.
It's our board that fell apart.
Yeah, that one. So it's the Supernatural one also. There you go. And if anyone doesn't know, the Pantone color of the year, we didn't do that one because it's not a paint company. It's a lavender color, so also very
Fun.
colorful and fun.
I'm gonna leave these out, just so you guys, if you want to look at them, you can.
I have another question.
Yeah.
When you go to homes that are new homes and display, you see the walls are all the same color. Is that something we should try to do, or is it better just to have individual colors?
I'm totally fine with having like, maybe not an entirely different theme, but like a different theme every room. I think it's fun. Again, it's like, okay, this whole house is white. It's pretty. It's nice. It's cool. But if you're like, this room's red, but this room's green, but this room is white, but this room is, you know what I mean? And again, we're using our furniture, our art, to really like make the colors pop or stand out against the white. But no, I don't think we should be aiming for our entire house to be super cohesive. Also, another thing we didn't cover is wallpaper. Obsessed with wallpaper. So if anyone's interested in wallpaper,
And it is bad.
it is bad.
It is
with a vengeance. I know.
No, I'm not doing wallpaper.
No.
No. Been there, done
I've
that.
been selling wallpaper.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta change it. After I take all my wallpaper down, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Halloween. Tonight we're going to dinner with my witch's hat and my cake. Marcia made too. Happy Halloween. I love Halloween.
And ladies,
Girls,
as a thank you.
Can I I'm gonna grab my phone so I can talk to the Facebook Live people. Hello. So sorry. Thank you for coming. Okay. We just learned. Look at that angle. Whew.
Yep, they're all on that.
I just saw a couple questions on the Facebook Live. Do you need a lot of wood to make your room look large? Not necessarily. It helps. I love wood. I love a wood beam. I just found a guy that makes chef's kiss, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous wood beams. Super distressed, like I don't know what he does, but he must be tired after because he's hacking them. They're really, really cool. So short answer, you don't need it, but it really, really helps. And it just adds interest, character, texture, and warmth, I would say. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to click finish. Lauren always does this, so I don't even know if I'm going to do it right.